Good afternoon, good afternoon, and good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Is everybody lovely? Can you hear me now? Welcome to the Best of the 757 Community Talk Show. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's blessed. Everybody's having a wonderful Saturday afternoon. But as we get ready to get involved, get motivated, but as we get ready to get involved, get motivated. And welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Go ahead and hit that share button and let people know that we are on today. And we're going to talk about a couple of different things and hope that it'd be interesting as well as entertaining. We always got a lot to talk about. And most of all, once again, how's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing? Just want to, send out a couple of texts, let people know that we are live today. And if you can do the same and invite some of the people over to this broadcast, it'll be greatly appreciated. Trying to keep the community informed of activities and things that are going on in VA and the 757. We got a lot coming up this month. This is the first day of June, and I hope everybody is planning some great things because we have Juneteenth coming up, and I will get into that and some other activities that will be going down. We'll be discussing, and most of all, we will be discussing a lot of different activities that I will be promoting. And I'm your host, of course. I always got to put my new picture up, because I kind of like, as a photographer, I like, try to create some dramatic, pictures when I do it, with all the depth of fields or the coloration of the paint picture that I take to make it more not just a picture, but more of a portrait type thing. You show different levels of texture of a person's face when you're editing it. But we didn't come to talk about that. How y'all doing today? Yes, and I started a new style. I said I'm gonna go back to the original Afro. When you start reading and educating yourself about what your hair considered to do, so I ain't trying to impress nobody. I'm just I do me for me. A lot of people like, why you don't let your hair do this? Why you got this on? Why are you wearing a beard? I'm an artist. That's what artists do. We create. You continue to evolve by creating. Things change. So when things change, you change with it. You change and try to inspire and motivate other people. And as you get older, you still want to look good, but I still got more evolving to do with the look I have today. I create different looks for different characters. This is the Dreammaker look. So when I create my Dreammaker character to talk to young kids about gun violence and bullying, and to try to motivate them to love themselves, that's what the Dreammaker do. We all have dreams. So we have to learn how to express ourselves so that young people can see that they have the same imagination, but nobody lets them express it. So what happened is, as they start watching movies, TV, playing these video games, then they take on the characteristics of the game, So when we don't really let our young people, as they grow up at a young age, to let them express themselves in a way that are creative, to question them and then find out what they're trying to express and what they're trying to do. I'm very protective. I always was very protective of my kids. Nope, can't go there. Not happening. Go to the bus stoop. I'll take you to school. So every day, me or my wife would take them to school. And there and then, when they like, Dad, I'm old enough to go to school to catch the bus. Yeah, I know you're big enough and old enough to catch the bus, but you got some other people that ain't mature enough to know that bullying is not part of the program. Teasing you or trying to push you to fight or taking something away from you. I'm not letting that happen because I know how I am about kids. And I just didn't start. I've been around kids and helped raise kids. Even when I was a kid, when I was 4 and 5 and 6 years old, I had my brothers and them were smaller than me. So I had to help my mother with them. And as I grow older, I helped raise my nieces and nephews. When I was going to school, when I was in elementary school, I would break up fights and people would say, why are you breaking up fights? You're going to get hurt one of these days because those guys are bigger than you. I'm like, okay, so we're going to stand on the sidelines and let somebody else fight. This is what we do today. We're still on the sidelines, letting people hurt one another before we decide to step in. And that's when Popo come. And then you get mad with Popo. Then you want to call the police names. But the police department is there to protect and serve. If you're not going to protect your children, if you're going to make them go out there and want to fight somebody, that's not the answer. The answer is to sit down and talk, find out what's wrong, find a solution to the problem. Fighting is not a solution to a problem. It's one that escalates the problem and make a child feel insecure when afraid to be alone or to be around kids and they are teasing them and they don't say anything. And everybody, their friends are laughing at them. All these things are mental health issues that young people have to grow up with. And when they get older and they start really acting them out, you just really have to sit back and say, what did I do wrong when they was growing up? Then we always got a sad story. The sad story is that we should have took better care of our young people. Our future generation is at stake. Whether or not you want to recognize that, talk about it, but we have to talk about it because young people are dying each and every day in the 7 cities. At one time, you just might had problems in Newport News, Portsmouth, and Norfolk. Now you got it in all the 7 cities. All 7 cities, our young people are dying. I don't even know when the last time they even mentioned something about somebody committing suicide. I'm pretty sure it's still going on. But the top stories is the one that people are killing each other. So what are we going to do? We got to come together. We got to try to improve and try to adjust. One of the other topics I also want to reach out, I'll come back to that later, is that I want to let people be aware that this is the app for WVDM radio. This app is in your app store under WVDM. But right now you can, take a picture of that and scan it or scan it now if you can. If you're on your cell phone, you really can't scan it out. Well, sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Matter of fact, I'm going to try it out while I'm talking. I'm going to see, can I scan it while I'm talking? And if I can, then I can tell you can scan it too. But, some people have, when they put them up, they have a way of just touching the screen and it pops up. But unfortunately, I don't think I have it on this particular, maybe because I'm live, but even when you're live, you're supposed to be able to. But I'm just going to have to talk with the app people and see when I'm on live, how can people scan it? So let me try it with the camera and see will it do just that. That's okay. Okay, it does. If you take it, well, you're on your phone. If you was on your if you was on your if you're on your computer, or you might be able to do it afterwards when I go off, because I just held it up to the screen, my phone to the screen, and um, it took the picture of it, and it downloaded the app. So you can download this app to your phone and listen to WBDM radio 24 hours a day. And it helps with my campaign against violence and bullying, because we have to transcend from just listening to negative music, what our young people are listening to, and to encourage them to listen to positive music. And also different music I'm playing, different gyros, and all you have to do is text me saying, I like this, I prefer this type of music if I'm going to listen. And then I will, program music for that hour, or those hours that you would like to tune in. So everything can be accomplished if you download this app. Is to show our young people that we love them, show ourselves that we care about one another. This is what music it was to me. God created music so that we could sing and talk to Him, you know, without like we talking to ourselves. So when you can sing, the word of God will guide me every moment. It brings me through a storm and weary nights. Well, you're actually singing words. So if you understand that words have power, then we can show our young people to say and speak things in existence and create a better world for them and a new generation. And for our generation, as we continue to get older, and as long as you still living, you still got a chance to help out and change things in our community. And that's the key point I'm driving. That's what I'm driving to you, to let you know that, God has soldiers, and you got to be one of those soldiers out there to say, hey, look, I want to get involved, and I want to make sure that my community, young people, uh, will live a long time and be able to accept things and change things. Because if we can change things, if we could change the activities, the way our mindset is, and learn to embrace everybody, show everyone that we care about them, then we'll get along better. We'll improve. We'll improve our community. See, back in the day when we were growing up, we used to could, just walk out the door and start talking to neighbors, or walk across a field, or do any of these things. But today we stay in apartments and we don't really talk to nobody. I mean, I fall short of that too, but because I work a lot of different times when I'm in the nightclub. So during the day I might be asleep. At any other time I'm getting rest or working on a project, and there's always something going on that I was doing, that that I was trying to accomplish, because I wanted my kids to grow up, have things, and I worked to make sure that the people in the community had a nice, safe environment, uh, that they could go out with their family and friends and enjoy evening out for a few hours to relax. That was one of my biggest goals, and I try to accomplish that for over close to 50 years, being in the entertainment industry, running nightclubs and marketing my nightclubs that I was in. And even though I didn't do it alone, because I advertised and um, brought companies revenue that they didn't have, so it was a two tilt thing. But like, I don't take credit for a lot of things that I do, because God give you the ability to create, God give you the ability to do things, but he don't give you the ability to do it by yourself. That's the first thing. That's what you have to know about God. When he made Adam, God made everything before he made man and woman. He made all that you see, all that you can't see. God created it. So when God said, this is good, he said, now let me make man. And he molded man out of the clay of the earth. And that's where Adam come in. And after God had created all things, he gave Adam the knowledge to say, now you name all the creatures, all the things on earth, you give it a name. So he looked at this and said, hey, this is an apple tree. That's what it was. It was an apple tree. This is a pear tree. This is a peach tree. This is a tree with leaves and will generate oxygen and clear the air. You know, and all the animals, Adam named them one by one. Everything above earth and below earth, he named them. So when you see fish in the sea, Adam named it all. He gave each one a name. God didn't do all the work. Read the scriptures. You know, the most powerful thing that we have to understand, we got a brain. God gave us a brain. Man, do you know how powerful that brain is? We take it for granted. We take it literally for granted. We have the power. When they say you are a God, you are a God. Don't let the world fool you. God gave you the power that when he made Adam, how did he make him? He made him out of the clay of the earth, breathed into his nostrils, and gave him life. And he gave him life, and that's how we are. We have God in us. We have God in us. We're just a vessel. The body is a vessel so that we can maneuver on earth. We have to be proud of ourselves. We got to be proud to show our young people that they are in God's image. They can create anything they want, good or bad. They have the power to do that. But the enemy became jealous. He was an angel in heaven. And he saw how the humans worshiped and loved God. And he became jealous. And he wanted to become God. So he started a rebellion in heaven. And God wound up kicking him out and 100 legions of angels that didn't want to follow his rules. Read your book, man. Read your book. It's in your book. Just read it, you know. And the difference about reading the Bible, we look to other people to interpret it for us. Like they're the only ones that can interpret the Bible. And that's not true. Everybody that's interpret the Bible ain't preaching you Bible. They're preaching you prosperity today. That's not Bible. That's what the government tell them what they have to do. Prosperity. When you sit up there, send me some money, donate to this cause. And when you go to a church, all you got to do is go to your church and tell them that you need some money. You'll find out quick how much money they're going to give you. I don't care how much money you put in there. It's never going to be an amount to enough to give you something when you need it. And you may not want to believe it. You ain't got to believe me. All you got to do is go to your church and say, hey, look, I can't pay the light bill. I said, we'll donate something to you just this one time. But you've been a member there 70 years. I've been a member at my church 70 years. And I've been times when I didn't have money to pay my rent, money to buy food. But God always made a way. I never asked my church for anything. I've been there 71 years. 71 years. I never asked them for nothing. I gave. I've always given. I may not give as much as I wanted to, but I did give. So I don't know what my church would give if I go and ask them, because I don't ask people for help. Only time I ask for something is only when I'm trying to do things in the community. I can't do it alone. I can't take from my family for the many years, for over 50 some years, I've taken from my family to do things on my own. I never took any money from anybody. I work for it. I can do whatever I want. And even at times, the government made me pay back money saying you can't do that. I know it's your money. I know you pay taxes on it, but we ain't reimbursing you. We're not giving that money back. And those were tens of thousands of dollars I had to pay the government. Tens of thousands of dollars I spent personally, and my wife and my kids, to sacrifice and put it in the community. But you listen to everybody else. I ain't did nothing. They did it. I've helped raise money for organizations, but they want to take the credit for it. But I don't have no problem with that, because God knows my heart, and whatever God leads me to do, that's what I do. I don't care about what others say. I don't care about what you think about me, but I just tell you this. The Bible says, touch not my anointings and do my prophets no harm. And if you think I don't know who I am, don't let me have to go fall on my bending knees and ask God to protect me, because he will protect me. I wouldn't be 71 if he didn't. I wouldn't be here. But it's not about that. When God gives you a task to do, regardless how long it takes, you keep moving forward. You never give up on your dream. You never give up on what God put in your heart. He gives us all gifts. Some people will tell you you ain't gonna never have it. You're never gonna achieve it. But I tell them like this. That's your job. You're doing your job. I have no problem with you doing your job. I have a problem if I can't finish what I'm born to do. I have a real problem with that. I don't have a problem with not having enough money or have a lot of money. That's not my problem, because I can't take it with me. But I like to make a lot of money so that I can leave some people here in a better position that others won't do. That's why I do what I do. Everything I do is not for me. It's for other people. It's for the future generation. The enemy will try to stop you. And you look at all the people you know with millions of dollars. I know a few millionaires, and maybe one out of all of them has helped me. When I say, hey, I'm trying to do something, make a small donation. But whatever they give, I accept. And whatever I get, I spend it doing work in the community. When I was in the clubs, I had the power and the authority to raise and give away thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars back to the community. But the city that I was in, which is Virginia Beach, the one I stay in now, saying that only thing I was doing is bribing the community. How can you bribe a community that is poor? And I'm poor. Now, if I didn't spend the money in helping the community out, maybe I could have been just like they were, living the life of luxury. I only take a trip when I can afford to. Since I haven't visited my son in Florida in about 10 years, or maybe longer. And it's not that sometimes I can't afford to go, because my wife said, you want to go, I'll just pay for it myself. But no, when I can afford to go. That's not affording to go. That's saying, hey, we'll sacrifice, let this bill slide, and the projects that I'm working on, I can take that money in. But he always come here to visit and bring the family. But someday I'll be able to go there and spend time with them. But that's not because I can't go. It's just that when I go, I get emotional like I'm getting now. Even when I talk about them, my kids that are in other states. I get emotional because I miss them. I love my kids. Just like I love my kids. I love the kids in the community. It's no different. They're kids. They're somebody's children. And most of my life, I've been doing just that. Looking out for the kids in the community. People might tell you different. Oh, he just wants to make money. Well, let me see. When I was in school, I used to break up fights in elementary schools. Let me see. When I was at Woodrow Wilson and they didn't want to have a black cheerleader. And some of the students said, let's walk out, So I did. I walked out with them to support what the cause was and got suspended. We marched from Wilson all the way down High Street to City Hall. But by the time we got there, they had the police there and they wouldn't let us into City Hall. So after doing that, they finally passed and allowed black young ladies on Wilson cheerleading squad. Just in case you don't know, it's not always been that way. Just in case you didn't know, when I think the gentleman name, when the rivalry between Norfolk and Wilson, rivalry game just like anybody else, was at the Frank DeLawrence Stadium on a Saturday. Young man went into a place called Earl's Market. He went into Earl's Market, and the manager of the store told him to get out. And he said, you don't talk to me that way. And it was an off-duty police officer there. And the the manager of the Earl's Market gave him his gun and he killed him. He just shot him because he said, you're not going to talk to me, or you can't make me do something. And that launched a big riot in Portsmouth, Virginia for several weeks. And that time, that's when all the gangs came together. North Side, South Side, Lincoln Park, Truxton, Douglas Park. And they had a meeting at the YMCA on Effingham Street. But the young man's mother was saying that she didn't want, no incidents to happen or nobody else to get killed. So she was asking for calm because the city was in an uproar. That night after that, they dispersed. They met over at Alabama and devised a plan to disrupt and cause chaos. I know we walked down to the Portsmouth City Jail, which was just under construction and they was remodeling. And the streets we stood in the middle of the streets where they was paving the streets. And they had snipers on top of the police department, jail, and the National Guard. And they told us that we didn't disperse within 10 minutes. The National Guard was going to open up fire on us and shoot us. But something happened with a plan they had devised. And the young man came back and he's, told them that people had left. And they told us, the people that are organized told us not to move, stand there, do not pick up a rock or anything. So they won't give them an excuse to execute us. So we stood there. But once the leaders of the march met and they said, okay, let's disperse. So we finally left and we did. So I've been marching from here to New York. I was in summer. I was up there for summer, and my brother had an organization called Harlem Backstreet. And my two brothers, to put youth to work in the community. And At the time, Mayor Lindsay, it was about 68, 69. Mayor Lindsay was the mayor. He said he wasn't going to give any funds to put the youth to work. Again, I'm involved with another march. We march in Harlem. We march downtown Manhattan. And the day of, he didn't want to get no money. The plan was to go down and disrupt the subway system, block the subway doors so that no one will be able to get in or get out. And we had a lot of people. It was chaos in the city. I'm pretty sure you can find it on YouTube somewhere. But in the 9th hour, as they call it, we got a call that said stand down, because the mayor decided to fund the summer program for youth at the sum of $60 or $68 million. And youth were able to get work during the summer and make money in New York City. So I was only about 14 then, 14 or 15. So when people don't understand what I've been doing this mostly all my life. I guess they said that's my calling. But today, it seems that the more I try to do to convince people, the more that the cities don't want to even partner or try to fund when they got millions of dollars to do just that. The money ain't coming from them. It comes from the government. I ask you to ask this question. Why am I'm an artist. All the things I do is of art. I'm a DJ. I create. I went to broadcasting school in Manhattan. What I do with my voice is called theatrics. What I do, I create the illusion in the center of your mind. When it goes through your ear, I can change my voice at any time. I can become anybody I want to. I can, I can sing. It's art. It's called intellectual properties for those that don't understand the ability you have. It's called intellectual properties. Why? Because God gave you a gift you was born with. You was born to create. When I pick up a pen or a piece of paper, I can create a drawing. I can take a line and shape it and create a whole world that you've never seen before. So what I did is I decided to create Captain85. But I don't draw character. I'm a fine arts painter. So what I do is I can do it, but I said, well, I can't do everything. So let me hire some people. Let me hire some Black artists to give them some money, give them a little shine so that they too can feel good about their talents. All I do is try to create a platform for people that have talents. You sing, I created an app. I pay a licensing fee. I select music. I purchase music that you buy, you make. I buy it. You don't send it to me. I buy it. So that you can see that somebody supports you. And hoping that people that listen to my radio station can do the same thing. They can buy the music that they're listening to from my app. I don't get no money. Go straight to the artist. Entrepreneurship. Somebody got to do something. Somebody got to do something. Am I going to give up? No. Do I have money? Nope. But I'll find a way to get it. I ain't going to rob nobody. I ain't going to steal. I'm not going to sell illegal drugs. If that's what you want to do, that's on you. I always sell legal drugs. That's why I manage clubs. That's why I have a certificate, what's called a general manager. and got a license, an ABC license with my name on it. It said, hey, I can operate an ABC establishment. So all the things that you think that I can't do, I've already accomplished. I've already accomplished. But it's never been about me. Look at how many people I gave work to that work in the clubs that I work. Security companies that was Afro-American owned, businesses, purchased food from businesses that was Black people, entrepreneurs. Their birthday cakes we gave away. We purchased them from a Black bakery for over, what, 10, 15 years? For 15 years? And you close me down and put hundreds of people out of work because you couldn't stand the fact that a Black man or Black family owned the largest club in Virginia Beach? What other Black club larger than Virginia Beach has ever been in Virginia Beach? Name it. Name it. Not one. Not one Black. Not Black owned. So when you put me out of business, you put about over 100 people out of work. Well, let's say you put thousands of people out of work. Because when I stopped working, all you got to do is do your research. That was the largest club in Virginia Beach. I played in the most #1 clubs in the city of Virginia Beach and Norfolk. #1. I ain't talking about 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week, from 7 to 6 to 5 nights a week. No other DJ has done that in the history of the 757. You might play, but you ain't had hundreds of people. Only people that really ever done that was Bob Fields, my mentor, the Broadway Club. And that's in Norfolk. People are like, well, you own a large club. Broadway was. No, Broadway was in Norfolk. Know the areas that I'm talking about. And I also played at Broadway. I also played at the Big Apple. And I'm one of the persons that put the largest crowds in the Big Apple and the Broadway. Nobody else. Bob and Winky at the Broadway. Harry Bonner at the Broadway. Those are the legends. Winfred Sanford at the Broadway. Those are the legends that put people in a club on a regular and consistent basis. And we didn't have the violence that you have today. People were able to go out and enjoy themselves. How many clubs are open today? Name them. Name them. So when we are talking about things and trying to make people understand is, we try to do it for the culture. We try to do it for the community, because everything I know about clubs, I learned when I was a child. In Portsmouth, they had a place called the Petite Ballroom. There was an after-hour spot on Effingham and London Boulevard now. Before London Boulevard was there, it was a Petite Ballroom over there, and they tore it down. I was the first person that played in the Shriners when they opened it up. The very first night they opened it, I played it after the Fishbowl Parade. And I'm pretty sure, without no mistake, I'm the DJ that put more people in the club in the history of their organization. I played from 7 o'clock that Saturday, 7 o'clock Saturday to 8 o'clock Sunday morning. And they still had a line out the door. And they came to me and said, hey, look, go ahead and cut the music off. We got to go home. We've been here all night. And these people are still coming. And it was 8 o'clock when I shut down, when they came and told me that. So I'm pretty sure they ain't had another night like that since the first night they opened. Like I keep telling people, I make history. I don't make noise. What I do, I make history. Check the receipts. That's all you got to do. Check them. I'm telling you stuff that is in somebody's newspaper or somebody that was there can tell you. But it's not about me. It was about making sure people have a good time. I opened up the Blue Hawaii. I had the opportunity after I played for my bowling league. Peter Lowe, who owned the Blue Hawaiis, and his family, gave me the Blue Hawaii because I played for his staff for free. And he said, because you did that, and they were speaking Korean, and he said, because of that, we'll give you, let you use the club and pay, you don't have to, for nothing. I said, what? He said, that's how much, he said, I said, I can't afford it. He said, well, we'll work something out. And we worked it out. And back then, I only paid $100 to use the Blue Hawaii. And people will come along and they did this and they did that. I keep trying to tell people, check your receipts. When I do something, because I'm blessed by God to do it, when I leave, how come they don't stay open? Why don't you ask them that? Any place that I open, that God allows me to go and do, when I leave, they close. And if they don't close, that means I wasn't there. I didn't manage it. I didn't go there. They already had a crowd. I might go in and play. There's no place I've never been. I done put more people in clubs around here. I'm the only DJ that's been arrested 4 or 5 times in the club, not in the streets, not at my house, because I run a club. I ran one club called the Taj Mahal on West Little Creek Road. It was upstairs. Police department brought the canine dogs in and told me if I don't let the people, tell the people to leave, they were going to let the dogs loose on adults, people 35 and older. 35 and older. I told them the club is now closed. They brought in 2 canine dogs. So y'all don't even know what I go through. Y'all just know what people try to make you believe. Check your receipts. All the stuff I talk about is documented in some court case or some newspaper, because it's about our community. It's about representing our future generation, the same as now. It's not about what I do or what I say. What I say is to let you know that we cannot do this alone. Our kids are dying every day. When I created this app, I did it so that we could have a way of playing positive music, creating an atmosphere of new artists, because all music started here in Virginia. You don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Ain't no music started nowhere else. It started right here in Virginia and then expanded. So don't get it twisted. Do your research. Reason why I created this comic book is to illustrate our people, the way they look. That's why Captain85, what is he in? He's in a mask. What color is it? Who is he? What he look like? He's a man, just like all the other characters in the back. But this is alter ego, they call it in artwork, so you'll know. That's the alter ego of Henderson Vaughn. All these other people are people you know. I can point them out, but someday I'll see if you can figure out who they are, and you might win a prize. You never know. But you know some of them. You know them. But all this stuff is designed. This is the inside of the coloring book. Give you an opportunity to use your skills with pens to color with, to develop a way to read the story, get your mind immersed into the story, to see what the real characters went through, what Captain 85 stands for. I'm not here to fight you physically. I'm here to fight for you mentally. Do what I do? This is what I do. I talk to kids. All these things too shall come to pass. I'll be back on the trail. I'll be back to what I do. And I hope you can support my cause. It's not about me. It's about who you see on that screen right there, those kids. It's never about me. What I do is to make sure that they are doing what they're doing on that picture. They're smiling. They're smiling. You have a police officer and a superhero. So Serena Man, she's still on the battlefield. She still works with kids. She still do activities for kids. But like I tell you, one man can't do it alone. I can talk all day. And I done invested lots of money. I could have chilled. Could have bought me probably a condo in Florida, been down there with my grandkids, or a condo in New York, and still been good. Well, let me explain something to you. I don't care how much you got or how much you make. You ain't going to take none of it with you. But what I can take with me is what I've done, because it's in my heart. And that means it's in my spirit. So when I leave, I know what I've done. And my rewards don't come from earth, it comes from heaven. If I had to depend on a lot of earthly people, I may not have been able to accomplish everything. But with my career, I did depend on earthly people who raised me up to be Captain 85, raised me up to be what I do. And I'm just paying back to the communities. That's why I know all 757, all the cities in the 757. I worked with Frankie Stewart, AKA the Soul Ranger, doing teen dances. When he came to me and asked me, would I help him? And I said, sure. But some people get it twisted. I try to explain to everybody, it's the will of God. Sometimes I don't want to do anything. But like I keep telling you, if it's not God, it's not my will, it's the will of my Heavenly Father. Because I get 3 or 4 hours of sleep and go and work 20 hours without sleep. So don't get it twisted. While you sleeping, I'm working. While you working, I'm still working. It's about protecting our future generation. And how you say we can do that? Well, let me see. It's called the new. See that right there? That's my new mission. Pin up, guns down. Why? We have the power in our community. All races have the power in their community to make history. History, his story, his story. Break it apart and use it with 2 S. His story, because he writes your story. Now it's time for y'all to stand up and start writing your own story. Put the gun down. That's the enemy way to destroy the foundation of our community. We killing each other. And they coming in after you done did it. What do you think they're supposed to do? You mad because they in the community trying to find out who killed who? Look at your news for a couple of days and find out. Maybe you don't know what's going on. Kids are killing kids. Kids shooting teachers. What in the? Let me calm down. You know. But I'm just trying to let you know. Guns down. Pick that pen up. If you're 17 years old, you have the most powerful weapon, that pen, to go register to vote. And if you're going to be 18 by November the 1st, let your voice ring out through your communities. We ain't taking it no more. Vote people out of office that ain't serving what you need to get done, and especially on the local level. Don't worry about the president. Worry about City Hall. Worry about the delegates up in Richmond that's cutting where you can't even afford to go to school. Closing schools, taking programs out of school. You got a right. You have a right to voice your opinion. Register to vote. When you turn 18, you can vote people out of the school board. You can vote people off of city council. If your delegates ain't doing what they need to do, vote them out. The senators, vote them out. Then we'll worry about the president. But let's worry about the mayor's office. Photo ops. I got so many photo ops. I'm just really, keep telling you, I can sit in my house. It's not about me. It's about our kids. I don't do no program to be famous. I don't get paid to do this. I'm paying to do this. I am paying to do this. If you got kids that are 17 years old and they ain't registered to vote, and you got a problem at City Hall, and you got 6, 7 kids that are going to be 18 or older already, and you ain't took them down there to register, you let them say, hey, you tired of my lip service? Well, I tell you what, you won't be here another year. You will not be here another year. You got schools that they don't want your kids in. They're cutting out band. Racist problems going on in the city of Virginia Beach and probably in all the other cities too. But ain't nobody saying nothing. Pen up, gun down. Pen up, pencil up, marker up, whatever. It's time to get these young people registered to vote. To cut the pipeline to prison. Put that gun down. You want to get a gun? Go join the military. Go join the military and get paid. And then when you're tired of going and you don't want to sign up for another year or two, then you know you good. If you want to stay there and get ranked, stay there and become somebody important. You can do all that. You don't need it. You want a gun? They'll give you a gun. They will give you a gun. If you're 18, they will give you a gun. Learn how to use it correctly. You pointing guns at people that ain't pointing at you. You can take your whole gang, like, yo, bro, we out of here. You a gang member? All you gotta do is say, yo, we out of here. We going in the military. That's what we gonna do. We're gonna get paid. Not gonna waste our lives. We're not gonna waste them. Stop it. You want to be a welder. They got programs. They're gonna pay you, educate you, train you, and then when you finish the training, you'll get $60,000 to $90,000 a year salary today. So why are you running around here gunslinging, stealing stuff that don't belong to you? Don't you know someday you're gonna grow up and people are gonna steal from you? What goes around comes around. You got a gun, you mad with somebody, they gonna get a gun. Look at what's happening in your neighborhood. You can stop it today. Stop throwing your life away. Go to the polls and register. Find somebody. Talk to your mom. If they don't talk, ask the teacher. If not, there's information on the internet about every candidate that's running. Don't fall for the rope-a-dope, the lip service. You got about 5 people in Virginia Beach alone running for mayor. 5. So they can split the vote. The only person I know that should be mayor of Virginia Beach is Sabrina Wooten. You say, well, why Sabrina? Because you're a woman? No, she's the one that's doing the work for the community, not just the Black community, not just the Hispanics, not just for the Jews, not just for the Gentiles, for everybody in the community. Because everybody lives in the community, participate in paying taxes. I can't just go, hey, bro, I got you when I get in office. It's time for that backdoor stuff to cease. Do I know the mayor? Of course, he's been on my show. It's time for him to go. That's the bottom line. Time for him to ease on down the road. Tell him the yellow brick road. Ease on down the road. Sabrina Wooten is out there on the battlefield ever since she's been in office. Yeah, I always agree with some of the things she do, but at least she's trying. At least I can see the effort in what she's doing. But other people, I don't do photo ops. When I do photo ops, it's for a reason. Just to tell people this is how politics work. Now, when I tell you that other people need to be the ones that get an opportunity to move the city forward, that's what you remember. That's what you need to know. Sabrina Wooten is out there every week. And all these Johnny-come-latelys is to keep her from winning to be mayor, to split the community vote. Don't get it twisted. They good at their game. This is just part 1. I'll be back again. But the clock on the wall saying it's been fun. I didn't keep you long enough. But I'm going to tell you this. Sabrina Wooten is the one I'm supporting. Guns up. Pen up and guns down. This is what it's all about for this 2024 election. And don't forget, we'll talk about the national election later, but our local election is the most important one. Remember to love yourself and put God first, and everything else will fall in place. It doesn't matter what others think about you. It's what you think about yourself. Until next time, this has been Captain85 on WVDM.